Hi guys, today we're going to be looking at the JobKeeper program recently announced by the federal government. This presentation incorporates a federal announcement as at the 30th of March 2020. We are awaiting legislation which is due to go into Parliament next week, and that will give a greater certainty around this announcement. Let's first look at eligible employers. To be an eligible employer, if your business turnover is less than $1 billion, then your turnover must reduce by 30%. That's relative to a comparable period of a year ago and of at least 1 month. If you're a business with a turnover over 1 billion, you're likely not watching this presentation. But if you are, then your turnover must have reduced by 50%, once again with the same conditions. Your business also must be subject to the major bank levy, which most businesses are not. Now, your turnover, as I said before, is measured against a comparable period to last financial year and must be for a minimum of 1 month. Finally, to be an eligible employer, you must have been in an employment relationship with eligible employees as at the 1st of March 2020. And you need to confirm that each eligible employee is currently engaged in order to receive JobKeeper payments. We'll now look at eligible employees. So an eligible employee is one that is currently employed by an eligible employer. Now that can include those employees who may have been stood down and rehired. They must have been employed by that employer as at the 1st of March and can be either full-time or part-time, as well as long-term casuals are also eligible. A long-term casual is one who's been with you for 12 months, as at the 1st of March 2020, and all employees must be a minimum of 16 years of age. Now, generally you need to be an Australian citizen. However, there are certain exemptions with certain visas, which are shown on this presentation. The employee must also not be in receipt of a JobKeeper payment from another employer. Now, what we're likely to see is the ATO, through your lodgement of single touch payroll, will already have a list of your employees. And I imagine you'll need to select from those employees those who are eligible to then start receiving payments. Now, if your employee does currently get the job seeker payment, so somebody who may have been stood down and is currently getting the job seeker payment, then this will affect their eligibility for payments under the JobKeeper program. And they will need to report this JobKeeper payment to Services Australia. Now, how to apply? What you need to do is you need to register interest at www.ato.gov.au. And I'll just quickly show you how that works. So as you can see here, we've now got a copy of, we're at the ATO website, and you'll see here that there is an option which talks about affected by COVID-19. You click on that link. This gives full information around the range of measures announced by the federal government, and you want to click on JobKeeper payment. And finally, you'll click on register now for JobKeeper updates. This is a registration of interest only. It doesn't actually provide the application. That online application is still being developed, but ensures that you are kept in the loop for when this is announced. Let's look at the payments themselves. Payments are going to begin in the first week of May, and payments will be $1,500 per eligible employee per fortnight, and they're going to back pay these till 30th of March 2020. Now, employers are required to pass on the full amount, even if the employee currently earns less than this. So using an example of an apprentice who might be on a wage of $480 per week at the moment, they're going to get a pay rise. You are required to pay the full $750 per week to that employee. Conversely, if you've got an employee who is on, say, $3,000 a week, then this is more a subsidy than a replacement. You will still be required to pay the balance of their pay, subject to any other negotiations. Now, importantly, you do not need to pay super on any amount above the employee's normal wage. So if we go back to the apprentice example, you would still pay superannuation based on their salary of $480. For the top-up amount to $750, you do not need to pay superannuation. Now, importantly, this is also businesses without employees are also eligible. Now, some of the eligibility criteria is very similar. So your turnover needs to be below 30% in a comparable year. The application process is also similar, except for one detail where you need to nominate one individual to receive a payment. So where you're a sole trader, that's fairly simple. You'll put your tax file number. Where you're a partnership, it's likely only one of the partners will be eligible, and you'll need to nominate one of those. Now, like with the employee version, employers will need to provide a monthly update to the ATO to declare that they are eligible for payments. That is for both those with employees and those without. Now, there's a lot of things we don't know in this announcement, and so we're just going to list a couple of these because these are questions we know we're going to get a lot of. So number one, for employees on wages below the JobKeeper payment, are employers required to start paying the higher amount now, or can they wait until they receive the money? That's obviously a really important question because a lot of businesses right now don't necessarily have the money to pay a person this amount. Another question for business owners operating in a partnership, is it only one person who can access a package, or can they both? The other question we've got is, can businesses stand down its employees and only pay the job seeker payment if their normal wage is higher? And also, in assessing the downturn in business, what months do we consider? These are all questions we don't know. And finally, if you do employ others, but you don't pay yourself a wage, are you eligible? These are questions we don't know, and we're hoping to find out when the legislation comes out. Now, thank you for listening to this presentation. We do offer a complimentary phone call to discuss how the stimulus package will affect you if you're a client of Pursuit. And if you do have any questions, please contact us on 5623 3778. Remember, if a person is struggling at this time and needs someone to talk to, please reach out to friends, family, or another trusted person in the community, or seek professional support by contacting Beyond Blue service on 1300 22 4636. And don't forget, keep supporting local businesses.